Bobby, are we going to freak out? Is it rightful to panic, as Choppy said this morning, that Jason Peters is not signed yet?
I don't think it's time to panic. And look, I mean, even if they don't bring Jason Peters on, I don't think it's time to panic because I think that their plan, regardless of whether Jason Peters is here or not, is Tyler Smith as their starting left tackle. I still think that there's a good shot it gets done. They're just, things dragged on into the second day. They've had this happen before where they don't close things up immediately. I'm guessing there's probably a lot of discussion about what the role is and what the money would be and things like that, because I don't know that Jason Peters is going to play for the same contract he played for in Chicago last year, which was basically the veteran minimum. And so I don't think that's going to be the case this time around, so they're just probably trying to negotiate a little bit, figure things out with his agent, Vince Taylor, who they've got a relationship with, who's located here in Dallas. But I think that, no time to panic yet. So, but even if he gets here, even if they do bring Jason Peters on, I don't think it changes your plans for early in the season, which is Tyler Smith is starting at left tackle.
Yeah, because we saw that Jordan Schultz tweet yesterday where he said, they want him to take, to replace Tyron, which contradicted everything we had heard, right?
Yeah. So Jordan Schultz it has some good insight from time to time, breaks some stuff from time to time. I would not necessarily just take to the bank anything Jordan Schultz says about the Cowboys. So just because, his sources are more outside. He was first on Cleveland making a trade for Amari Cooper, for instance. I think that was more to do with the kind of information he has about Cleveland and sources outside of there. He's missed on some Cowboy stuff before. I think there's better people plugged in on what the Cowboys are doing than Jordan. And that's not a slight to Jordan. It's just that's not where his strength is, I don't think.
Is that you propping yourself up there then?
Bobby.
Really
That's
kind
not
of
me propping myself up.
Sounds
going
it.
crotch first into this whole thing?
It's just me saying I think the entire beat is more plugged into what's happening here than Jordan would be.
Do you think it's fair, because this is kind of my feeling, that Peters, and you said he doesn't want to play on the league minimum contract or the vet minimum contract, and do you think it's fair then that he's looking at it and going, at some point I might be starting, and I don't want to be playing in as a starter while I'm being paid as a backup?
I mean, that's part of it, I think. I think it's also just the fact that there's the position that Dallas is in, they clearly want to add somebody right now. There's a supply and demand thing at play here. And I think that, when you see the Eagles lose Andre Dillard, for instance, then, okay, well, now the Eagles are in need of potentially bringing in a veteran tackle. And so I think it's just a matter of assessing where the market is at and saying, look, I have some options here. I'm not just going to, give a hometown discount to a team that I've never even played for. But, I think there's still a good chance it gets done, and I think he'd be extremely valuable here, not as a swing tackle, really, because I think he's really just on the left side at this point, but as somebody who can impart knowledge to these younger guys and can be there as a fail-safe in case Tyler Smith doesn't work out, or in case Connor McGovern doesn't work out, and you decide, okay, we need to move Tyler Smith inside the left guard and play Jason Peters at left tackle. But Jason Peters is still a very effective player. Broadus and I were talking about this last night when we were recording the podcast, that Brian did a deep dive into the Peters film, and we're talking about, okay, who's better, though, Tyron or Jason Peters? And Broadus still said Tyron had a better season last year, banged up as he was, and at times where he struggled. But Jason Peters is still a very solid veteran. I think he's a better player right now than, for instance, Terrence Steele is. And I'm higher on Terrence Steele than other people are.
Well, and he's obviously better than Tyron is right now because Tyron can't play, so that's a better option there.
That's a fact. You nailed that one.
Yeah, and I am kind of curious how much that factors into, you just can't trust that Tyron's going to be healthy. So that changes. Like, I understand when you're saying, on the field, they're kind of similar products, but Tyron's got the better season. But it's just, okay, am I going to make it through 3 quarters in this game? And that has to be a big concern whenever you're looking at the option between the two guys. What would then kind of in your mind be the plan whenever Tyron does come back? Because Jerry is, thrown out there hey, he's going to be there for the meat of the season. What's the role then for Peters at that point?
I still think that's the most sunshiny, optimistic view.
Okay.
I mean, you said meat of the season.
I mean, it's possible, but I think that is as optimistic as you can get at saying that Tyron's going to be back this year. I would still be surprised if he plays this season. But if he comes back, I mean, I think that there were discussions in the building about bringing in Jason Peters before Tyron got hurt.
Gotcha.
And so I think that it would be a fact where they would probably just at that point, if Tyron came back, Tyron would jump in at left tackle, Tyler Smith would move inside to left guard, and then Jason Peters would be there as, again, kind of a fail-safe, somebody that you could rely on if you needed to get some extra snaps, because there's always guys getting dinged up on the offensive line. It just consistently is what happens. And so I think throughout the injuries and some of the shuffles, if they added Jason Peters here, even if Tyler Smith is playing really well, I think there would probably be a game or two where Jason Peters is starting because of shuffles that they have to make due to injuries.
Yeah, because, like, you know, let's just say, you know, Tyler starts and he has a Dak 2016 level season.
Yep.
You know, doesn't that, you know, do they do the same thing they did with Romo? Just like, hey, this kid's job now, man.
I think so. I mean, I think that if he plays well enough there, I don't think you look back. I don't think you reach back and go, okay, well, let's bump him to left guard. I think the plan all along was, or sort of the unspoken expectation was that even if Tyron was healthy this year, this would be Tyron's potentially his last year here in Dallas, and Tyler Smith would play left guard the first year with the idea that Tyler Smith is playing left tackle in 2023. And so, yeah, I think that, you know, if he's playing well enough, even if Tyron gets healthy at the end of the year, maybe you don't make that switch. Maybe you don't mess with that continuity. Now, if there are problems with McGovern, like we mentioned, maybe then it causes you to just jumble some things a little bit. But, man, I think if you found a young 21-year-old, really powerful, really athletic left tackle that's succeeding as a rookie, I don't know that you necessarily want to mess with that, even if you are having problems at left guard.